Hey all, here are OS Reviews. Today we're taking a quick look at the FIIL CC Pro. These are a pair of TWS wireless buds, and many of you guys might not know, but this company is actually an ecosystem brand of Xiaomi. But whereas Redmi and Halo focus on more value-oriented budget buds, products branded under FIIL usually have a more premium design, a little more eye-catching, and also slightly more higher-end features. So the CC Pro sells for around $80, supports Qi wireless charging for the battery case, and has these really sharp angular edges. IPX4 for sweat and water resistance, and also comes with a companion app that you can use to further customize things like the EQ, change the touch controls, and also access a low latency gaming mode. So it has almost all the features that you would possibly want, including you can even change the ANC intensity. They have 4 presets, has wear detection, so when you pop these in and out of your ears, the music will automatically play and pause. Up to 30 hours of battery life with the case combined, and then once removed, the buds themselves can last for up to 6.5 hours of continuous music listening if you don't have ANC turned on. If it's activated, it's closer to around 5.5 hours. The casing here is constructed out of polycarbonate plastic, but what's also kind of neat is that the logo is also backlit using LEDs. So you can see if it's charging, if it's turned on. It has a motion sensor, so whenever you kind of flick it open, it will automatically start to pair with your device. Other packaging contents include a quick user guide, as well as access to some spare silicone tips and a standard USB Type-C charging cable if you don't want to use wireless charging. And here's how it compares with something like regular Apple AirPods. They are a little bit thicker, but not by too much. And also something like the Redmi AirDots, they're also quite comparable. The case actually has these really rounded corners. In fact, even the bottom here, which has the Type-C port, is rounded, which means that you can't actually set it flat on a table like this. It will topple over, so you have to lie it flat. So if we pop it onto a Qi charging mat, you can see the charging here will pretty much instantly start, and it will flash the FIIL logo here. Otherwise, again, the buds do also have a pretty distinctive shape to them, especially with these angular corners, and there is an LED light on the very top of the stem, giving you a bit of indication while they're being charged and in the pairing process. Also interestingly is when you are wearing the buds, technically it's facing outwards like this. So it doesn't look like just a flat side, but rather like this diamond edge is what's pointing out. So one consequence of this, although it definitely looks very cool, is when you're using the touch controls are also smaller in terms of their targets. So if it was completely flat, it would have been a little easier to press. It's a case of slightly more style over substance. Now otherwise, we do have the FIIL logo, a microphone pointing towards your mouth for better pickup of your voice when you're having phone calls, some additional microphones that are picking up the ambient sound, and you see this glowing light here, which is invisible to the human eye. That's the IR sensor that can detect if you're wearing the buds or not. They're comfortable even if you're moving around a little bit, still felt secure without falling out, even if you're doing a bit of jogging and working out. Before we talk about the audio quality, we have to take a look at the companion app, which is actually very well designed. We are able to see the battery percentage remaining on the left, right side, as well as the battery case. Otherwise, in the middle tab, we can go through all of the different settings, including EQ. So if you want to listen to a bass boosted mode, the original mode, treble, and under more, we have even more variety of different genres of music that you can try and play around with. And all of these do make a difference on the sound. You can even tweak and change your own EQ just by sliding around these frequency ranges. Down below, we can activate the active noise cancellation and flick through the aforementioned 4 different effects. So whenever you're switching between the modes, you'll hear it say that prompt out loud. Now the final tab here also allows us to access the low latency mode, and we have 3 different effects there, including one if you're gaming versus watching videos. And they will give you a disclaimer in the sense that if you are activating the low latency mode, it will slightly decrease the quality of the sound. And that's because it has to transmit less data just to give you that faster connection. So if you're listening to only music, you're not watching anything, you can tap on the middle and that will give you the best resolution. There's also a full control mode, brings back more features on the stem, including volume control that you can activate by single tapping or triple tapping, although it is worth noting that these controls are asymmetrical. So the volume is all dedicated on the left side, and on the right side, doing the same thing will actually skip tracks. Finally, you can also do a little bit of remapping, so press and hold on the button for 2 seconds, can toggle through the different ANC modes, as well as turn on or off the wearing detection, and also check if there's any firmware updates. Now moving into audio quality and performance, there's plenty to like about these CC Pro buds. In fact, I haven't really been disappointed with other FIIL buds that I've reviewed in the past. I'm glad to see that this is still no exception. Definitely enjoy bass. They are very thumpy and rich, but at the same time not overpowering. But bass heads will definitely love the sound here. At the same time, I still was able to hear a lot of details in instrumentals and even singers' vocals. Drivers and tuning here, I would say, is as good as brands that you can compare it with, such as Anker's Soundcore products, as well as with One More's buds. This is definitely up there, sounding consistently good and well-rounded for almost all genres of music that you can play back. Now, if I was nitpicking, the only con would be it's not 100% free of any distortion or completely quiet. Even in the ANC off mode, I could still hear a little bit of white noise in the background, but it's super faint, and overall it doesn't really distract from the music quality. Other attributes, including the low latency mode, also work as expected, so you can definitely use these for gaming as well as for watching video. Active noise cancellation, I would say it's also effective. They're not going to be leading class in this area. It's really hard to outshine Sony and Bose in terms of ANC, but they are trying very hard, and overall they, again, do have a quite nice seal combined with that hybrid active noise cancellation. It does a good job of reducing lower frequency sounds like fans and car engines. The only thing to keep in mind here, though, is it still is going to be a little weaker in terms of higher frequency sounds, so things like typically voices can still seep through even with the ANC turned on, but the monitoring mode is another kind of interesting element on here that does seem to work quite well. So that's more or less it as far as our quick hands-on review of the FIIL CC Pro. Again, this is not the first time that we've seen a product from these folks. Their T1X series of buds have been pretty popular also for offering very good sound and a slightly more premium design for a year or two now. But it's great to see that the legacy continues with the CC Pro, improved companion app, as well as another very sharp and angular design that kind of sets it apart from the crowd. So you can check out more details if interested in the links down below. For now, that's been our video. Thanks for watching here at OS Reviews.